at angle. Yes. So here, we're really reaching our right foot far away, feeling the lateral line. If you can go deeper, I like to wedge my elbow against the inner knee, hold my ankle, and then I can rotate the chest.
Also block.
A block is also good, yes. Good. Nice. Do you want to block?
Sure.
Let's play. Now remember, the same way we go in is the way we come out. So return to low lunge, lift the back heel. Yep, and then you'll step down, rise up. So I want to show you something with that action. So did you remember seeing the functional lines card? So this is where functional lines are what allow us to do this action, right? This is also our spiral line. But the functional lines are shoulder to hip, front and back. So when we come up, actually let me do it this way. When we come up from our lunge, I want you to think the functional line. Pull your left shoulder back as you press your right heel down. So I'm going to bring left shoulder to right hip. I didn't even use my bicep, right? I'm using glute and back, scapular muscles, right? To come up. Okay. All right, so let's find it on the other side. Left hand, right foot forward. We've got a little slack in the rope there. Now you can start to step your left foot back, lean back, lean back. Find the tension on the strap in your low lunge first. So stay up high on your toes. You can bring right elbow to thigh. And then lower the back heel down at an angle. So Gigi, can you go a little wider? You're hanging from your left shoulder, right? You're anchored through, you're anchored through the left shoulder. Palm faces the floor. This looks lovely. How's the feel? Good. Good. Nice. And then you can work elbow against the inner knee to rotate the chest. Yes, there it is. Good. Breathing along the side body, sending breath into the areas of tension. Good. And when you're done, lift the back heel, come back to your lunge and pause. Elbow to thigh. And think about how you're going to press yourself up. Your right heel is going to press down. Your left shoulder is going to pull back. Glute. Yes. And scapula.
Fired up the
Glute. Yes. So awakening the glutes is how we don't end up here, right? We have to keep the glutes on board. Okay.
Oh, that felt amazing.
That is one of my favorites. So not only were we working the hips, right? But what also line were we working?
The side lines.
Yeah. The lateral. Yes. The lateral lines. Good. You could just see that.
Yeah.
You know, the whole energy of expansion. Okay. Let's take this down and feel it in a different variation. So you may appreciate your block. We're going to step into our loop and have the strap anchor the pelvis.
1.5 of you.
1.5 of you. And let's see, I'm going to face you all just to see. Actually, you're going to want it to be longer because we haven't visited Warrior 2, but that's the stance, right? So we're going to come in to our deep Warrior 2 stance. And what's beautiful about, you okay? What's beautiful about the wall is that you can go really deep. Be support. Okay. So here we are. Heel pressing into the wall. Knee cap reaching for pinky toe. And then elbow to thigh. Top hand overhead. Press into the wall with your heel and reach through the hand. If you want to go deeper, you can. Yeah, good. Beautiful. Yes, and Prema, this is where the modification for your height would be to bring it down to P2. So Gigi,
Oh yeah.
when you're done, I want you to notice what I did with Prema.
Oh yeah.
I had to bring her down because when she comes down into her warrior stance, her hips are much lower than ours compared to P3.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So anyone that comes down who could draw a line from hip crease to P2 needs to hook into P2. Yeah, because if she was above P2, it wouldn't be quite the same.
It feels totally different.
I bet.
Yeah. And then I like the assist where you just come by and you take their hand and you just give them a little, just a little.
It makes me want to advocate for a sample wall there, and then you can put straps and hold the strap on one wall.
Oh, now she's creating a whole new experience. We got the double wall going on. I love it.
I do like how you said yesterday, though, of having one there where you could teach from there and then.
Yeah, I thought that was a great idea.
Think about that one for sure.
Yes, other side. Notice if you need to change your strap at all, the length of your loop. Good. Nice. A little push into my hand. Push into my hand there. Lovely. Inhale, right arm lift you up and out of the toes. Turn the toes forward. Yep, and heel toe or step, step. All right. Those two. Good ones. So stay where you are because we're going to explore Warrior 2 while we're here. So just spin back around. Yeah, you already stepped out. That's okay. Sorry. That's okay. Spin back around. And I'm going to face you so I can be here. And I invite you to go a little deeper into your warrior than maybe you're comfortable with on your mat. So kind of the common practice is that you don't sink the front hip lower than the knee. Right. So from here, we want to start to explore the pelvis. So as my hips do really well, I want to dump my front hip, right? Like if I had a bowl of spaghetti, it'd be spilling to the center of the room. So I want to move my pelvis into the strap and try to lift my pelvis, the front, because mine is left forward, your right forward. So my left hip is reaching into the strap. I'm actually pulling my hip into the strap. And that's easier to hear and do than it would be to level out your pelvis, right? If you use the compression of that felt sense and say push into your right hip,
Or
and
even
see if
like
you can lift it.
How you cued us when we had our feet up and you said to tuck that hip towards the heel. So even I think when you were saying that, I felt that sensation of pull your left hip towards your left heel, and then push your right hip out towards your toes.
Yeah. Then from here, what we can do is we can do a little glute action. We can push the heel down, the front heel down, and see if you can hover out of your strap and stabilize. See if you can find your warrior. Yeah. Woo. And then sink back down and use the strap. And then hover. Notice where you start to shift and change when you engage your own body weight. Or maybe we should say engage with gravity, right?
It's like Mudabandha light.
That's right. And then straightening the front leg, turn the toes forward. Whew. Coming out slowly with care. Yeah. Good. And then finding it on the other side. So what I'm going to have you do is feel the difference here. So come back up. I'm going to give you the block to push your heel against. And you may have to lengthen, but I want you to notice if this does anything for you. So if you reach your arms out right now, you're going to do this, right? So if someone wants to really expand the chest, if you're working the whole posture and you want that width, right, that expansion across the collarbones, add a block, and then you can do that. Otherwise you've got one arm here against the wall, right? Now you can, okay.
Now I understand the purpose of the foam blocks.
Because
a wooden block would be very painful to kind of.
Well, we have a wooden wall, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
very true, and we would adjust. Yeah. And you're just a little further away from the wall, so. You can play with side angle, you know, you can reverse. That's right, Gigi, you got it. Uh-huh. So
That's nice in line with what we were doing here.
reverse warrior. She's going back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, so much easier when you're supported by the wall to go in and out.
Gigi, where do you go? What do you notice now that you're supported? Where are you feeling it change or be different?
So my hips are, it actually makes me think of when we were talking about the movement of our fascia and like warming and things. This almost feels like when you're doing your sun salutations kind of over and again and kind of moving through those motions. But I'm also feeling it like around the hips and the glutes, like holding me up as a pinwheel. Because when I'm like this, I'm not pushing necessarily against this as much as I am when I'm forward. So I'm moving back.
What's different for me with the wall as opposed to without the wall is the whole torso, meaning from the hips up to the crown of the head, feels immediately lengthened with the support of the strap, whereas when I don't have the strap, that length is harder to feel naturally, if that makes sense. It happens naturally with the strap because there is less effort.
Right. And so, you know, I almost have to, I have to do
Do it
it
with
with
that.
strap to feel the difference.
Mhm.
And automatically it's in the pelvis, right? Where if I'm so supported on this side that I can, when I'm in the wall, like here, I feel like I'm pushing in order to hold myself up.
Mhm.
But with the strap, my hips are a little
Mhm.
more parallel to the wall because I'm supported in that way. So like naturally, almost like a safety, my body is like, if you fall forward, I can catch you this way.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then with the strap, because I'm strapped in, it's like, go ahead
Mhm.
and put your hands that way.
Mhm.
And then when you move, like it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, this almost, what am I feeling? Gosh, I can't even. Core? Maybe? I mean, it's like definitely in the core somehow, but I don't know. Oh, balance.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what it is too, is your balance. When I'm out of the strap, my core engages a little bit differently because I'm holding myself up and trying to balance through the movements. When I'm supported, it's less about balance because I'm held and more about just the movement and the hips instead of the belly. Right?
Very good. And so what I saw too was that when you did your second side without the strap, you wanted to do the same expansion as you did the first side supported. But then you were like, oh, this is not how I normally do it. Like I'm
Yeah.
falling,
Okay.
right? But your body was ready. And because of the first side, your body wanted that expansion on the, but you had to learn how to recruit the stability for that. So it informed your mat practice,
Yes.
right? You went to that new space and then you felt the edge of like, oh, I have to engage differently to be in this expansion. Yeah.
That would be a really cool fusion part, or like a class in itself, is like to feel the postures within a strap and then without, or against the wall and without.
Sounds like fusion to me.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Very good. Excellent. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's explore Ardha Chandrasana.